sound that comes out is generated into an alternating current from the string vibration, which moves a magnetic field.
A pickup consists of a calibrated magnet, which can be 6 small magnets or pole pieces. These magnets are then wrapped with insulated copper magnet wire. The strength of the magnet, the number of turns and the thickness of the copper magnet wire all determine the eventual sound of each pickup. As with most things in the music industry, this thriving business comes from Seymour Duncan's enthusiasm.
I started playing guitar when I was about 13, and I had other friends who, I thought the guitar was a really neat thing. I saw the Ted Mack show, which was a popular TV show, and a guy was playing the guitar, jumping around. I said, oh, I like playing the guitar.
Seymour Duncan's teenage obsession led him to learn more about technology and technique.
And then there's another one I learned from Dwayne Eddy, which was trombone, which is... And then between listening a lot to Roy Buchanan, there's another guitar player, Arlen Roth, adding Roy Buchanan into it, you could do all the... Then you add a cross between like some Beck or Jerry Reed,
By the 1960s, the electric guitar had become the sound of the 20th century. It rapidly spawned its own folklore.
When I first picked up the guitar, it was groups like the Rocketeens, the Fireballs, Ventures, Dwayne Eddy, and that's what I was really listening to until I happened to be walking down Sunset Boulevard, right next to Dino's Lodge, which used to be the place right next to 77 Sunset Strip, that old show in the 50s and 60s. This is around about 1960. It was like the first year I was playing the guitar. And I heard a group on the other side of Dino's from what was 77 Sunset Strip. It was a place called the Sea Witch, and I heard this guy, Jerry McGee, play extraordinary guitar.
The Sea Witch Club. You must have been talking to Jerry Donahue. Yes, the Sea Witch Club was a club. It was a coffee house, actually, a coffee bar that they called, in 1960 in Hollywood.
I thought guitar playing was, that type of thing. That's like, and bending strings was out of the question. I had the wound third. The very most you could maybe get a slight bend on the second string for rock and roll type things.
I worked there for about a year and a half, just doing instrumentals, because we had no vocalists in the band, and we had no microphone. So we'd work from 10 o'clock at night to about 4 in the morning, doing all blues instrumentals and slow blues shuffles. And that's where I met Jerry Donahue.
I spoke to him later, and he actually gave me a few lessons at my home. My dad asked if he'd be prepared to, so on his way to work, a couple of times a week, he'd stop by the house, which was just, a block away, and show me. And he told me he used black diamond strings and would use 2 seconds instead of a third, because, you weren't able to buy gauges like we have now. And he would do all this kind of, like playing with a thumb pick, which I can't do, but on the bottom string going... snapping strings like that kind of thing too, you know, and bending, unbelievable.
I started actually playing about 1952 with the guitar. Some of my heroes were Chet Atkins, of course, like I mentioned before, was one of my first influences because he played with a thumb pick, and I thought that was kind of unusual.
And I want you to listen to him now. Here he is playing the Black Mountain Rag, Chet Atkins.
Chet Atkins' laconic approach to guitar playing is deceptive. The plastic thumb pick is on the thumb of his right hand. He uses his remaining fingers to pluck the strings. His left hand forms chord shapes, as well as fretting or pressing down the strings to play the extra notes.
Mainly, it is in the right hand. For me, it is, anyway, the technique. Just rolling the fingers a lot. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. You know. And, no, there's nothing, nothing special about the left hand. It's pretty much just plays the notes, you know, that's about it.
Donahue's left hand has perfected the difficult technique of string bending.
Well, string bending is something that causes a note to go from, say, a tone to like a tone higher or a semitone higher. That type of thing. Instead of going from there. There's one that I discovered, I think it was by accident, where I pulled up the G string up to the B string and let it down again, and I accidentally, as I did that, the B string got caught underneath my index finger and came back when I was letting the other one down. You know? So I got that effect. You see, I thought, oh wow, how did I do that? You know, and I then worked on doing that, and then different variations of that. And then bending another one up, too.
If this looks easy, it's not. These strings are tensioned at 16 pounds each. To bend one requires strength and sensitivity. To bend three accurately and pitch perfect takes years of practice.
Behind the nut bends, with harmonics, too. I'm using a couple at a time, You can do a minor third, or major third, that type of thing.